All right, and our first matchup, on our first great matchup this weekend, we had the Texans versus the Chiefs. The Chiefs being favored by 8.5, and the over/under being 41.5. The Texans are coming off a good win against the Chargers. I mean, they blew them out like crazy. I told you guys the Chargers and the Broncos. I've been saying all season. I've been saying they're fool's gold, even though their coaches had, not a lot to work with and they got to the playoffs. So that's something to be said. But I knew as soon as they got there, they'd be one and done. Like I told you guys, Texans blow them out. And the Texans, their defense really stepped up. I mean, to cause that many turnovers against Justin Herbert, who people consider one of the best quarterbacks, top 10 quarterback for sure in this league, to cause all those turnovers, man, that was a great accomplishment by the Texans. And that's their bread and butter. Their defense is really great. They can get after the quarterback, and they have a really stingy secondary. So they held their own against the Chargers. So, Will Anderson and Hunter are the heart and soul of that team. They could get after the quarterback. Both guys have over double-digit sacks. The big question here, though, I have for the Texans is that what is the health of Mixon? Mixon is questionable for this game. I believe he has an ankle injury, so keep an eye on that. He had 25 carries last week, and they're gonna need that many carries for him again. They're gonna need 25 to 30 carries if they want to have any shot to cover this game, or let alone beat the Chiefs. So keep an eye out for that injury. If they have to go to their backup running back, if they have a nice piece in Pierce, he had a good game. I think he went over 120 yards rushing or 130 yards rushing the last game the backup running back played. So keep an eye out for that. They have a good backup running back. Their pass defense ranks 6th. Like I said, they're one of the best secondaries, a stingy secondary, and their rushing defense is ranked 14th. So they have a really good defense, and they're going to need that because CJ Stroud, he's not having his best year. He took a small step back this year than he did last, and they have so many injuries at wide receiver. Tank Dell is gone. Stephon Diggs, he's gone as well. They only have really Nico Collins, who's a really great wide receiver. He's the only healthy one they have left. The other ones, Michi and Woods, they're nothing nobody to rely on. So it's literally Mixon and Nico Collins, and if they could get anything out of Schultz at tight end, that'll be great. But one thing you guys have to watch out for as well is the Texans' offensive line is not good. CJ Stroud was in the top 5, I think top 3 most sacked quarterback in the league. So they needed Mixon to be healthy for this game. So they give him 25 to even 30 carries, and that opened the field up for Nico Collins. The Texans are 7-12, 7-10 against the spread in total of the regular season. And 11 games of their season have gone under the number. So they games that they are in have definitely gone. The majority have gone under. Let's talk about the Chiefs. The Chiefs have finished 15-2 for this season, so they got the number 1 seed. They got the bye. Their starters have been, they've been resting for 2 or 3 weeks. So is there going to be some rust? Keep an eye out for that. But the Chiefs come in relatively healthy for this game. Finally, they had a lot of injuries in the beginning, the mid-season, but they look like they're finally fully healthy. They have all their weapons. Hollywood Brown, he's been playing for a few weeks. He's here. Hopkins, he's healthy. And Kelsey. So that core offense without Rashid Rice, that'd been one hell of an offense if he was going to be able to play this game, but he's not. But they still have good, solid weapons. Not really fast weapons, but they have some good weapons. Also, Isaac Pajenko, the running back, and Hunt, those guys are good to go as well. So surrounded by good weapons, Mahomes is. Mahomes, unbelievable in the playoffs. Just go look up how well he is, especially in the divisional playoffs. I think he's 6-0 in the divisional playoffs in his career. So the guy, he's just smoking when he's in the playoffs. The one thing that their weaknesses is the left tackle. It's been a carousel of players. Who's going to play left tackle? Who's going to play? So keep an eye on that because the Houston Texans can get after the quarterback. Another good positive thing for the the Chiefs. They may also get their starting cornerback Watson. He's been out since week 7. So if they get him back, yeah, he might have some rust. But hey, you get your starting corner in the playoffs. That's really great. And I'm sure he's been, looking and studying the playbook all season long. The Chiefs defense, they're about average when it comes to sacking the quarterback. So I believe their best, their D end, I forget his name, Kafafkas. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Their defensive end, he leads the whole team with 8 sacks. I believe they have 37 or 30. They're in the mid 30s for sacks. So they're not the best. They're not the worst. They're just about average. And that I'm just saying that because the Texans' offensive line is not so great. So if you're going to, cover this spread, if you're a Kansas City bettor, you want the Chiefs to get to CJ Stroud. Their passing defense is ranked 18th, but they might get their number 1 cornerback, and the rushing defense is ranked number 8. So they're really good at stopping the run. But they're only allowing teams to score 19 points, which ranks 4th. So that's really great. If you want to be a Kansas City bettor or you want to bet the under, they do not let teams score against them. The Chiefs are 8-9 against the spread, and they're 3-5 against the spread. They're 3-5 against the spread at home, and the Chiefs are 10-7 to the under, and the Texans are 11-7 to the under. So you see where I'm going here. I think that this is not going to be a high scoring game. It's going to be in Kansas City. I think it was a good win by the Texans last week. They really put the Chargers in their place, and their defense really held their own. And I think this defense can get to Mahomes. I think the two Will Anderson can get to him, and Hunter could get to Mahomes. That, like I said, the left side, the left tackle is not so great. So I also think that's a stingy secondary, but I also think with the lack of weapons the Texans have and the injury to Mixon is going to make the Texans suffer. And there's just not going to be a lot of points scored, in my opinion. CJ Stroud also in outdoor games is 5-6 straight up. His passing rating is 83.9 and his completion rating is just a hair under 59%. So he's not so great when he's playing outside, and this is in Kansas City. So I think the best bet is under 41.5. I think this is going to be possibly a 14-24 game, but I also like Kansas City to cover the 8 points as well. Like I said, I think the Texans don't have all the weapons on their offense because of injuries, but they have a good enough defense to hold the Kansas City from getting out of hand. But I still think Kansas City covers, but I think the best play here is the under 41.5.